All right, excited to get spring rolling here. I just finished up a very good team run with our players. Did want to say a few things. We got obviously a lot going on this time of year, and just want to congratulate Coach Ray Luz and the men's swim and diving team on their Big Ten championship, and wish them good luck in the national championships coming up here, as well as the women's swimming and diving team as they prepare for that. And I know they'll do an awesome job representing our great university, and also want to wish the women's basketball team great luck as they begin their tournament in the Big Ten, and just all that the sports we got going on, doing a great job representing our programs here at IU. So, also would like to thank Grant Hurd for his time here, and appreciate all he's given to our football program, and wish him well. And then also, as we get ready for spring football, we have some objectives that we want to accomplish with spring, and I always kind of map those out, and they don't vary a whole lot, but based on where you're kind of as a staff and different things that you're doing, it can be tweaked a little bit. But fundamentals are going to be a priority without question. Improving those, we've got a lot of new faces, so the being able to go through the positions and be able to find guys' strengths and weaknesses in those areas is going to be huge as we identify them, as we've got some of those new guys, and then just the whole schematic adjustments on both sides of the football. Those are going to be key focuses, which the end goal, the final objective, the overall objective is that we finish as a better football team, and that's what our guys have been working hard towards. We've been taking full advantage of the extra 2 hours that the NCAA has given us this spring in meeting times and walkthroughs, and that's been very valuable for our guys in our preparation for spring football. We'll start on Saturday, and we'll be doing a little bit different schedule. We're not going to be going on Sunday. We usually go back-to-back days, those first two non-padded days. We're just going to go Saturday, and then Tuesday, and then Thursday, and then we'll have our traditional spring break, which we haven't had here for a couple of years in regards to a normal flow, coming back and finishing up our last 12 days after we return from spring break. And then from a personnel perspective, did want to announce that Jaron Handy has been dismissed from the team, so he's no longer with us. And other than that, we got a strong group of guys that worked extremely hard, had a really, really good 8 weeks of preparation in the weight room with our strength staff, and as we said, with the additional work with our coaches once we got off the road recruiting, and excited to see our guys get on the field on Saturday and get this spring kicked off. So ready for questions.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm okay. I guess in regards to Coach, here, kind of a two-part question. I mean, with the timing, were you a little bit surprised or caught off guard? And then, secondly, with it being so close to start of spring ball, I guess what's your timetable for trying to get somebody in to replace him as the wide receivers coach?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't something that I was expecting. And so I would say the timetable would be very efficient. And so I do think, obviously we'll not have somebody in place for Saturday or probably the first the Tuesday, Thursday following that. So the first three practices, I wouldn't expect that to be the case. But the goal would be to have someone in place. But so when we come back from spring break, once we hit the field, that practice number 4, to have that person in place. So that's and that's where I guess the timing obviously is tough. It's not what you would want for sure, but at the same time, I think that window gives us a chance to be able to get some things squared away this weekend and then move forward. So, but you obviously have a short list of guys you're focused on, and feel good about that. And so the goal would be to have him in place, ready to be coaching our guys when we come back after spring break.
Don't forget sort of the obligatory quarterback's question, but I think this may be, and it's in different ways, obviously, but presuming Dexter is at or near full strength, about as healthy as you've been from a depth perspective at quarterback going into spring in a while. I know that there's been different times where Mike's been dealing with an injury or somebody's been an early enrollee or whatever. I mean, just what are the, I guess, sort of how do you approach that position when, on the one hand, you maybe have some more to sort out, but on the other hand, you obviously, again, maybe everybody is at or close to full participation?
Yeah, that is a great point, and I think it's a very true statement. So, yeah, Dexter's back, full speed. Should be exciting. I'm excited to see him throw. You know, as you know, these workouts go in the leading up to spring practice. We're not able to be out there when they're throwing. So, but I know he has been fully cleared, and so like you said, having with Jack and Donovan and now you got Grant's had some good experience playing in games, and obviously Connor's added to the group. So it's a very strong group, got good depth there, and a lot of guys that have played football here for us and game situations. And so, and obviously Connor brings in a ton of experience from another school. So yeah, it's as you said, if you go back and really look at the history of spring ball since I've been here, yeah, we've had very few quarterbacks that were healthy to be able to have full participation throughout the spring. So that's definitely a positive, and with having a new offensive coordinator, that's going to be critical. So really looking forward. That's one thing when you think about the spring and the competition ahead for that position. That really excites me, and I'm anxious to see these guys. They've been working extremely hard, and so yeah, it's a full room, a competitive room. Excited to see how it's going to make each other better.
Yeah, hey coach. The most common question I get from folks is about the offensive line and going into the spring, what you need to do to get that unit to step up their level of play, and what are you specifically looking for out of that group this spring?
Yeah, there's no question, and I agree, and that's definitely a huge focus for us. And I think just from a fundamentals perspective, that's going to be a key focus. I know even with Coach Bell, he's going to be heavily involved as well during the inside run periods, and that's just his personality. That's what he wants to do. That's how he runs things from his perspective and his personality, and the way he wants things to be done, and his involvement there. We made changes in that area in regards to some things we're doing schematically, and just trying to really do things we can do from that perspective to help our guys. And then to also, we just got to create more depth. We got a lot of younger guys here that it's a critical spring for them to be able to have an opportunity to grow and develop. And so to me, it's about simplifying things, to be able to be more physical, more aggressive. We've been really hard on this group throughout the whole off season so far in the weight room and in our workout sessions, team runs and agility runs and all the things we've done with that group. So developing more toughness there. Better execution is really the key. That to me is what it comes down to. We have to execute at a higher level and do a great job of creating run lanes for our running backs, and then also being able to give our quarterbacks the time to throw and be effective. So huge focus without question. Got to have depth, got to have guys step up, and it's a group there. We've really challenged some key leaders there. We've got several guys that we've been challenging and grooming as leaders in that group to have them step up as well. And but yeah, there's no question that's going to be a big focus. It should be, and it is.
How important of a spring is this for the defense? And in particular, you had some guys banged up, and then Taiwan obviously wasn't at 100% from October on. How is he physically, and how important is it with a new coordinator, with you being more involved, how to get that unit a little more cohesive in the spring?
Yeah, I think it's going to be critical. It's a big spring for us in all three phases, but especially on offense and defense. And when I think about our defense, just me, the involvement that I'm going to have now again, I've always been involved without question, but just to a different degree. And just to me, just to be able for us to fundamentally to play with better technique, to play with better finish physicality is the way I would phrase that, and the ability for us to be able to execute at critical times. And getting guys healthy is going to be big. I get that part of it, but to me, just getting our swagger back, our edge back to us on defense. We lost it this year. Really fell off production wise. Had the worst defensive season since I've been here statistically, and that's unacceptable. So because of that, there's things we're going to do, but it's an important spring. It's always about having an edge about you, playing with a tremendous hunger, and having relentless focus in the way you do things every single day. And so, the takeaways, tackling, and effort hasn't changed, but the emphasis on certain things is going to be ramped up in the way that I know it needs to be. And so it's on me. I take that responsibility to get our defense right. Last year wasn't good enough. It was unacceptable, and we got to be better. And I expect us to be better. So very important spring to reestablish some of those things and get back to basics of who we are, what we want to do, and being able to play very fast, play very physical, and create takeaways.
Hey Tom, I guess two questions real also, to go back to the quarterbacks, what do you like about each of the guys that are going to be competing, and what do you want to see from them, I guess, individually in this spring practice? What do you want sort of each of them to achieve in these 15?
Yeah. So first of all, with Jared Handy's situation, just series of just disciplinary issues that we had to deal with and dealt with those and systematically did and had some suspensions involved there prior to this that led up to it. And just, you got to be able to be willing to do, I would say it's more of a collective, wasn't one thing. And that's really what, culminatively, it came to that point. So made that decision, and that's where we're at. And as far as quarterbacks go, I would say that just kind of go through the group. Jack is obviously the most experienced of the group from the guys coming back from our program. And just obviously getting him healthy was a big objective this offseason, which has been accomplished. And then just being able to play at a high level of execution and confidence. And he's got the arm talent. He's got a tremendously, gifted mind. Work ethic's been phenomenal. Leadership's been really, really strong. Really pleased with that, and really proud of him for that. He's done a great job. But just to me, it's just the on-field consistency and being able to, put the team on his back and lead him. When I think about Donovan, just be his first spring football ever. He's never played spring football, never had a spring football in high school or college, and to be able to have him in there learning the things that we're doing is going to be very, very important as well. And he's just one of those guys. He's such a good athlete and he's big and he can run and all those things. Just like, hey, this is one of our best football players, And so that's a guy that I want to be able to see, grow. He just has so many things to improve on as a quarterback because of just having limited time at that position to really be honed in an off season. So this will be his first full off season with us, and so to me the fundamentals that he has and just learning the new system as well, with a new coordinator, and so being able to master that's going to be important, man. Just playing with that confidence, and being able to throw the football, on schedule and to maximize the talent that we know that he has. I just think a guy, like Dexter, it's been so long since we've seen him out there playing. He's just definitely has talent and great young man. Has worked extremely hard to come back from his knee injury, and so it's great to see him out there working and training and doing things. And so it's just learning the system and being able to get out there and play. So he just once again very young, hasn't played a lot of football for us and has not played in any games, and so just to be able to focus on mastering the fundamentals, getting very comfortable in the pocket, and being able to learn the system and get that ball out fast and be able to help us be very, very effective. And then you think about, Grant just continuing to grow and develop. Like I said, he had a chance to start for us the final game and play throughout the last part of the season there, and just to continue to grow, get stronger, get faster, get better, improve himself in his fundamentals, and just being able to run the offense. And so just, unbelievable kid that's worked extremely hard and has gotten better, which put him in a position to even have a chance to play last year. And so that has to continue. He knows that, and then you got a guy like Connor who's coming to us from Missouri, where he's a starter there. And to me, it's about, I think more than anything, learning the system and being able to win the team, just because you think he's just new. They don't know him. Now he's been here since January, but just being able to, they've never even been in a practice with him yet. Workouts, yes, and when the guys throw on their own, that's happened already. But to be able to do those things in a normal practice setting with our coaches there, with everybody there, is different. So I just think just being able to, we always talk about the quarterback, and this goes for whoever becomes the starting quarterback has to win the locker room, and the guys' belief in them. And that's something for a new player coming in is a systematic establishment of that, because to me that's really, really, a big part of it. And you can't force that. You can't manufacture that. It has to be, authentic and real from the players. And so that's part of what you have to do when you come into a program. So all those guys are in that mix of doing that, and obviously got to be able to give them all reps, and they'll get those opportunities. And excited to see them compete, and excited to see those guys do, a tremendous job of improving their fundamentals and skills, as well as learning the system, and then, being able to get on the field and take the team down, score touchdowns, and then get points on the board.
Hey, Coach, in terms of your early enrollees, how are they kind of meshing with
Yeah, I tell you what, we did some things different to help accommodate that and expedite that. The building. Build is our one word for 2022, and part of the reason for that choice was understanding the number of new guys that we were going to be bringing in to our program in January, which is 19, which is a record number. And so how do you get those 19 guys gelling and meshing as a team? So to build, because the best team is the one that wins on game day. And so that's our whole goal for Freedom Spring, is to leave as a better football team. And so right now we've had accountability teams. And so this last couple of years, the accountability groups were really more by position. And so now it's been by just a meshing of positions. So cross-positional, cross-class. So you got guys from all different grade levels in those accountability teams. You got coaches working with guys that aren't necessarily, even on their side of the football. You got guys mixed together, offense, defense, special teams, on the different accountability teams. And so it's been really good. They've been doing activities together. They're holding each other accountable. They've had, you have things you got to do that creates communication. So that's helped us once again help these guys mesh into a group that, some guys didn't even know them, when they stepped on campus. Other guys, you might have had some previous relationships with certain of our guys, but not very many. And so, some guys that have stuck out to me, J.H. Tevis is a guy that, was a starter there at Cal Berkeley and came here and just a really, really smart, tough, hard worker, just one of those guys that does everything you ask him to do. So I'm really excited about him. I just think, Darius Cox is another guy, and PJ Lucas, just guys that came to us that, man, they've really bought into working really hard, big guys that can move up. I mentioned 3 defensive linemen right there that I think are going to be critical for us to be able to continue to grow our defense. And so those, Miles Jackson, he's probably, we go through, how about this? So we had the team vote to who they would want to have on the leadership council. We obviously had the council in the past. I said, I want to go a clean slate. Let's re-vote. And he was the highest vote getter of all the new guys. And it was by a lot. And so to me, that just kind of showed you, and we did that obviously after they've been here for several weeks. And strength staff felt the same way. Very mature young man, really, really hard worker, and I just think that it stuck out, to me, and I just think that matters to those guys, getting his recognition, and the other guys just working hard. And I feel like that, Jared Casey and Bradley Jennings, guys have come in here as well at the linebacker position, and have had to really kind of learn some things and come to a new place, and so just like how hard they work, and that's what stuck out to me. I think offensively, Sean Shivers is a guy that really, sticks out, in terms of work ethic. Obviously I haven't seen these guys play football in person here, but the drill work, the toughness, the fight through the adversity, though he really has stuck out to me, in a way that has been impressive. I think Emory Simmons is another guy that is really has shown me a lot in regards to just working every day. Doesn't say a whole lot, but just works. Got really good speed, and just love the mindset that he brings us. Josh Henderson, another great worker. So I mentioned, a couple running backs, a receiver there. Just that ability to really, truly, buy into what we're doing. I've already talked about Connor, and the quarterback position, demands 2 key things: leadership and production, and so seeing those things out of him, and that's where, and he's naturally kind of a quiet guy, so, but I tell you what, the group of guys we brought here, I've really been encouraged by them, encouraged by, their ability to come in here as a new player. They have brought maturity. We obviously vetted them out as much as we possibly could to really make sure you're bringing the right guys in, and so far, I think they've done a really, really good job for us and have kind of blended in well. Time will tell. There's no question about that. But you got 100 plus guys here already on the team, and just excited to see them now go through spring football together, because you got the practice piece, the things that happen during practice, post-practice, pre-practice, all the meeting time we get with our guys now as a whole group, and you start building that team together. So, it's obviously challenging to get new guys. I haven't even talked about the new freshmen, but those are older guys that came. That's really, the window of recruiting them was shorter. Some guys we knew before, which helps, and other guys we had to learn in a pretty efficient way. So I know I've kind of spent a lot of time on that, talking to these guys, but I'm excited about them, and we brought them here, and it's time for them to compete and make this football team better.
thoughts. Any notable players moving to a different position this spring?
Not that it comes to my mind, and if they do, we'll mention those things as they unfold. So I will say maybe one here that's, I don't know if it's a big change, but Brian Fitzgerald, we just call him Fitzy, but Fitz has played a lot of positions for us. We're going to start him at free safety, and he knows the Husky position very, very well and can play that. And Noah Pierre has played multiple positions. He's going to start at Husky, and so we're just kind of moving those guys around a little bit to be able to give them some more time and maybe a position they haven't played as much to give them a chance, and they'll play other positions throughout the spring, but we're going to focus on those there and give them a chance to be able to. I want our safeties to be pretty versatile and rotate guys around. It's awesome to have corners that can play safety and safeties that can play corner, and so obviously Noah Pierre has been one of those guys, and so even Jordan Greer, going to see him playing some Husky and some safety, but just trying to get him a chance to get some quality reps there. So that's probably the biggest adjustments. The rest of them I think are pretty consistent. Caleb Murphy has been a guy that has played both sides of the football. He's focused on the offensive line now, and getting his body built for that position has been a focus this offseason. So those would be the main ones at this point.
So again, for two quick ones. First off, I guess, do you have anybody that's not going to be participating in spring for injury reasons? And also, just what's the experience been like working in, two new coordinators? You've obviously mentioned Bell and Shad. Just that process behind it.
Sure. Yeah, as far as the guys go, so right now, and there's always every year you got guys that come off some postseason surgeries, and the kind of common ones have been labrums for guys, and so we got got a couple of those. I know that Randy Holtz had his shoulder, and so he'll be limited on some things he can do, as well as Deshaun McCullough, limited with some of those things he can do, but be able to do a lot of things, just not everything with all that. And then as well as Devon Matthews, just trying to be able to keep him 100% healthy this spring. And then Taiwan Mullen had some things with a little lower, just trying to get that right. He and David Ellis are still kind of, being able to, but be very protective of those guys. We know what they can do. I know David obviously has been injured quite a bit here, and he's frustrated by that, so am I. But our goal is to get him 100%, throughout by the end of spring and ready to roll for the summertime. So those will be some key guys that won't be getting a lot of reps because we know what a lot of those guys can do. It's just about making sure they're 100% healthy, for the summertime and for obviously ultimately fall camp. So, but that's really not that unusual. You'll get some younger guys a chance to get a lot of quality reps, but do have some guys, several guys coming back. We know as we were full aware, we had several injuries throughout the season. Guys coming back from those, and for the most part, most of those guys are at different stages of that. But those that can go will go. Those that are halfway, we got some guys that are kind of in between. So still working through all that, but that's the benefit of starting maybe a little bit later in spring. And then in regards to the coordinators, really excited about both those guys. Obviously Walt's been here a little longer than Chad has, but Walt's, he's such a sharp coach. Our players have noticed it. I had several guys come up to me and just love his energy and love his just mind. The approach to things, very analytical in the way he does things and approaches things, and has a really good perspective. Obviously he's been a head coach, and that changes your whole perspective on things. That gives you a much broader, understanding of a lot of the behind the scene things as well. And so just really, I think too that's really stuck out to me about him. He's a heck of a recruiter. He was a recruiting coordinator in the past, when he was at North Carolina, and just has a really good vision for that, understands it very, very well, and has got that whole side of the ball. I think it's kind of even elevated that part of us in a very quick way in terms of the focus of that and the structural of it for those guys. Because I tell these coordinators, hey, it's your job you got to take ownership of recruiting on your side of the ball. And then Casey is take ownership of recruiting specialists. And so that's where, I think that in the short time we've been together, I think Walt's really done a tremendous job in that. And then with Chad, it's kind of a unique situation on that side of the ball because he's, my involvement, with the defense, but he's just extremely organized, really good football mind, really just love his personality, who he is, his character and his leadership, and how much he cares about our guys and is going to invest in them and just really, really capture those guys in a very, very meaningful and impactful way. So I love the energy that those guys have brought to every day. I mean, you can just feel it from them, which is awesome. And Paul's no different, Paul Randolph. So just really, really excited about the guys we've added. It's all about that, and we've obviously had some changes, and so you just you bring guys in here, and sometimes it can be a really positive thing because you get a chance to get some new energy, new thoughts, different things about that. So, but at the same time, we got to come together and play as one and coach as one, and that's what the coaching staff's objective is going to be. So excited about our new guys and anxious to see them coach on the field. So we'll all be out there for the first time here as a whole group here in a couple of days. Let's have an awesome day. Elio. Oh, last thing, I do want to make sure I don't want to forget this. I'm actually going up there myself. I'm going up the combine here in a couple hours, but really want to wish those guys, great success. We got Peyton and Ty going today, and then Mike is going on Saturday. So I'll be up there to watch those guys and pulling for them, and I know they're going to do great. So wish those guys well. Have a great day.